Hi. So the theorist that I chose was John Dewey. I remember learning about him in another class, and I remember really liking his theory and what he did, so that's why I chose him. So this is a picture of John Dewey. So about his early life, he was born October 20th in 1859 in Vermont. He was a really good student growing up, and he attended the University of Vermont at 15 years old. And he graduated 4 years later with his bachelor's, and he was second in his class. So his main theory and philosophy was that he focused on experiential learning. So that's learning by doing. He thought that using experimentation, reflection, active experience, and a learner-centered pedagogy is what he thought students learned best. So in this picture, that is one of the recent school that he opened. He wanted to open a school so that he could test his theories out and see it in action. So this is one of the classes that he had that they are learning by doing. So again, his main theory was just that students learn best by hands-on. So that's like group activities, field trips, experiments, and a bunch of stuff like that. He thought that that's how they learned best. So for his career, he was first a teacher after graduating with his bachelor's. Then he went to Johns Hopkins to get his PhD, which was 5 years later. Then after he got his PhD, he was a professor at the University of Michigan, and then he was the head of philosophy at the University of Chicago. And then finally, he was a professor at Columbia University. And then while he was a professor there, he was also working at the Teachers College, teaching other teachers about his theory and how he thinks that students should learn and spreading that on to more teachers. During his time at the University of Chicago, Dewey and his wife started their own experiential primary school where he wanted to test his theories and see them in action. Later, he founded the New School, which was another experiential school. So he opened two, and the first one, he ended up leaving it because his wife resigned from that one, so he resigned too. And then they opened the new one together, which is called the New School, which is in this picture. Okay, so some main points about his theory is that his educational theory focuses on making sure learning is an active experience where children are learning by hands-on activities, group discussions and activities, decision-making, reflections, and corrections by the students and teacher, accommodating the needs and interests of students, and making sure the lesson is engaging and fun for the kids, and having a flexible curriculum. This is a picture of a student reflecting. So he did say that reflection is a big part of learning. They, after you perform an activity or do something experiential learning, reflecting on what went well and what went wrong and what you could do different is really important for the students and the teachers. Helps you focus on what you can do better next time or just what went well. And then a little bit about his late life. After many accomplishments and a powerful educational theory that inspired a lot of people after, he left behind over 1,000 works of essays, articles, and books. His first two books he wrote was in 1884, and the first one was called Psychology, actually. John Dewey, he died on June 1st, 1952, at the age of 92. He was a brilliant academic philosopher and a proponent of educational reform. He did travel the world towards the end of the 1930s. He traveled the world just to educate others on the educational reforms and pretty much about what he thought and what he taught to other people. Some disagreed or agreed with his work, but he was adamant that his theory of learning by doing is what's best for children and they want to learn. So he also thought that if children are interested in what they're learning and have a desire to learn because what they're doing is fun or just hands-on and has them interested and engaged, that they were going to want to learn more, so that's why it was best for them. And then this is the bibliography. I'm going to pull up the Facebook page. Okay, so this is the Facebook page I made. This is his profile picture. On his status, it says, about to visit the new school, see what's going on. Hopefully they are learning by doing. So the new school was his most recent school, and then he retired right here. So he's kind of just saying that he's just going to go visit and see what they're doing, and then to see if they're learning by doing, which was his theory, that that's how children should learn. Here's some pictures of him. He was married. He actually married twice. He got remarried later in his life before, like right around he retired. So, and then he worked at the Columbia University in the New School. He lived in and was born in Burlington, Vermont, and his birthday was October 20th. These are some of his friends. The first four are other philosophers and just colleagues or someone he went to school with, people that he worked with, and then these two. This one was his first wife, Alice Chipman, and this one was his second wife. So they're his friends. Starting from the bottom, the oldest, it says Burlington High School official graduate, class of 1874. So this is when he graduated high school. This is a picture, not of him, but it's a high school graduation in the 1800s. So this is John Dewey, feeling shocked. He said, wow, I got into the University of Vermont. I can't even drive a car yet at 15, but I'm going to college. So I thought this was really cool because he was going to college at 15 and he finished at 19. So I wanted to include that in there. This is when he finished the 4 years of college and got his bachelor's in 1879. And then this is when he went back to school for his PhD in 1884. And I believe this was him at the graduation. This is Alice Chipman with John Dewey. This is when they got married in 1886. And that's a picture of them right there. And then in 1888, this is when he finished his next book. And then he says to check out along with his first book, which was Psychology. So these were his first two books, and he got them both done by 1888. And that's a picture of the book Psychology. And then this is John Dewey with Alice Chipman. This is when they first opened their first school. Here they wanted to implement the use of hands-on and experiment on his theories. So he wanted to see them in action in 1894. John Dewey is feeling excited. This is when he was made the head of philosophy at the University of Chicago in 1894. And that's him reading a book. In 1919, that's when the new school officially opened. And once again, that's where he got to saw his theories in action and how it all worked out. And that's the picture, again, with the classroom in that new school. And in 1923, this is when he began traveling the world to schools, teaching about the educational reforms and sharing his ideas and theory. And then finally in 1930, that's when he had retired and was proud of his accomplishments because he did get a lot done and was an influential character to many people. So that is the Facebook page. And that's pretty much it about John Dewey. I agree with his theory. I think it's a good one because personally, growing up, if I was learning by doing something hands-on, it made it more fun and it made it interesting to learn and made me want to learn. So I think that getting kids to do hands-on things and field trips and experiments, it really opens their mind and wants them to learn more. So I think that he was a really good theorist that more people should